Hi everyone, Shirtlad here. You might have seen my older SD Gundam G Next menu guide I made a couple of years back. It remains somewhat serviceable for the most part, but there were some things I could have definitely done a bit better in retrospect. As such, I have decided to dust off the guidebook for it that I have, and make this rather brief addendum piece for the menu guide. These mostly pertain to the game config tab, since at the time I didn't have much on hand that would have helped me out with small pixelized kanji. Regardless, to reiterate a point made in the how to get into SD Gundam G Next video, big props to Gary VIII for his insights. This submenu over here is supposed to be the info tab, rather than the guesstimated view I put in the original video. Also, this option lets you set whether your supply units will refill adjacent ships automatically at the start of your turn, or doing the whole thing manually. The auto setting does make the management easier on you, but could potentially waste resources by repeatedly refueling and repairing the same ship, even itself multiple times, or end the supply ship's turn early by prematurely resupplying. Not something I'd recommend should you desire to move multiple supply ships close to one another across the map. Now, for the game rules settings in the config tab, I don't think I've properly explained this tab right here. It's the victory conditions tab, or Shori Jokin in Japanese. You can turn these on and off while setting up a game to modify what counts towards winning. The top option is the point rule, or point OC, being enabled by default. Basically, the points you capture will contribute to your faction's total victory points. Whoever has the most of these by the time the turn point limit is reached, wins. Cities, i.e. the ones that generate you money, will yield 500 points. You get a full 1000 for airports, 1500 points for each turret emplacement, and 2 grand for each base. The second option is the Master MS Elimination Rule, or Master MS Senmetsisei. What this one does is that everyone starts with a so-called Captain or Master Mobile Suit, which the game denotes with a big uppercase C. If this unit is destroyed or captured, i.e. it's in a base that gets taken over, the owner of this unit loses. The Captain MS can be any unit capable of moving on space tiles, which also means it can be a mobile armor. And it also starts at its max level, meaning that every unit with an upgraded form can be given an upgrade on turn 1. So, in short, kill the enemy general to win. Third one is called Home Base Capture Base Rule, or Honkyochi Senryo C. In layman's terms, if this is enabled, the initial bases you start with on the big space map become home bases. If they're taken, you lose. If you take the enemy's home base, you win. Alongside the Master MS rule, this is another one that gives you additional objectives to attack and defend. Then there's the City Capture rule, also known as Toshi Senryo C. This one basically boils down to putting more emphasis on cities you capture and hold. If you got more cities than the opponent by the end of the turn limit, you have effectively won. Definitely a good pick for people who want the captured cities to have more importance, establishing a sort of an economic victory condition. If you have that one, alongside the whoever has the biggest army of MS towards the end of the game rule, a bigger army will take precedence. Lastly, the MS rule, or MSA in Japanese, is a simple victory condition of biggest army wins, or more accurately, whoever has the most surviving units by the end of the game wins. This is also the default victory condition in the scenario mode, aside from preventing the opponent from chucking colonies/asteroids at the Earth. Also, apparently with the 2.5k gold per captured city each turn figure and the how to get into G Next entry, that turns out to have been more of an average, with the income from each city depending on the type, as per the gamebook. And if I did slip up and say that the thermonuclear rocket engines spawn in neutral bases on the moon and on Earth, that's on me. They actually spawn on every type of neutral base. It's just that they're very uncommon, so since I could only reference my own labbing at the time, that was a bit off. So that's the brief addendum for my older G Next guides, and until next time, have a good one. This has been the Shirtlad, signing out.